Hello everybody. Today we're going to do a hand in this type of gesture. So if you have your pencils all set, we're going to sketch ourselves a hand in that particular gesture. So to start off, please always use very thin strokes. We always say that they are very instrumental in fixing any errors and mistakes. So we can just put a bell shape like so. Let's bring the bottom of the hand a little lower because all the action is like really in the fingers and the thumb in this case. So we have the bell shape that should essentially go like that, lowest at this point and a little high here essentially to make room for these middle fingers. So what we're going to do is put in an oval here and we'll go 1, 2, and here 1, 2, that far apart, 1, 2. So these are like spider legs, and we have, if you would like to check out some other videos of anatomy hands, we have put out some of these similarly, so spider legs. And then of course we can do like other things as well with this, but that is one quick way to get around the framework. So let's bring the ball inside a little bit, right about there, rest inside. So we make changes as we go along always, and from this point on we can first put in what we call a set of finger lines, just as a guideline. There's one right there, and then we can of course go about using the same principle that we always do, that is sausages. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and of course 1, 2, 3. We have to remember that there's a foreshortening aplenty here. So sausage and a sausage right there. They could be ovals, but sausages always work better. So what we have from this point on is some other core details. So finger lines, finger lines, finger lines, and finger lines. And similarly now for the thumb, depending on the angle of placement, finger lines as well. So let's grab ourselves a more robust tip of a pencil so that we can finish this off. So we have, depending on, again, we always say that every hand is unique and every hand differs from the other in some ways. Of course, some core things are the same, but due to the thickness, the grace, or how they're used, every hand differs. So this is just one hand. It's not necessarily we don't have a model here that we are working off, so we are just doing a generic out of the thought hand from that angle. It's a very important gesture and of course it's used in extreme instances. So we got the skin folds right here. Bring and we got some thumb lines right here. We have the thumb right there, and we round off. Let's put in a few skin lines there. So that is a core sketch. Now if you check out a video in which we did a hand grasping a sort of a stress ball, it comes up in a similar way, sort of. And then we do have one slightly different placed hand that is in a similar it's a similar gesture, but it's not the same angle. So if you have a light source that is falling down from the top of the hand and going downward, we just put in some tones. Again, it depends on the light source of how intense a light source is. And how much of a shadow and contrast is cast when it comes to different angles. So wherever the thumb is not necessarily right against the skin here, it's a little raised, and we can always put in a little tone like so to try to portray that. It's essentially like good practice. So right here we are just doing very casual crosshatch, and of course if you delve a little deeper into this, and if you wish to make this into a work of art, then of course all the details, all the time that is taken can substantially improve the image. So mostly, like when it's posed like this, and if it's a hand that is just thin enough or just bulky enough, there is a striation like right here, the stressing of the vein just going into the forearm past the wrist, and it's okay to get those skin folds in if they do appear that way. So as mentioned, every hand is unique. We're putting some crosshatch in that indented area, which is just curled up, sort of. And then of course around every finger we put in some tone that is on a bit too large on us there, too tall, so we just brought it down a little bit. Now, as mentioned, that this specific pose is not necessarily popular in the sense that it is very, very routine gesture. It's not, but it is pretty routine when it comes to art forms like and media like comics and illustrations which feature action, because and in those areas, while it's not super detailed because it's part of a bigger whole of a bigger image, but it's very essential to nail this right when it comes to anatomy, because in every industry when it comes to details or how fine or how intricate or even how simple the artwork is, the core thing that they do always check is the attention to details with regard to anatomy, because that makes even the most generic artwork really stand out. So if it's a character which is just like grimacing and wants to threaten the world, if it's a character that is in action trying to conjure up some kind of doohickey to defend himself, or he's just in a fight scene where he's trying to show off some bravado, and this hand gesture just comes into play like very, very routinely in such areas. So if I were to let's just like smudge this a little bit. The smudging, again, is just an option and not necessarily essential practice, just to even out some of the things here to make the lines stand out a little more. So there we have it, a quick sketch of a hand in that gesture and with those tones and from that angle. Please do try it. It's a lot of fun, an essential exercise in anatomy and tones. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, keep in touch, have yourself a wonderful day.